It's 2021 and this is gonna be our year. What's up, guys? My name is Ross, and today in this video I just want to talk about how to actually create sustainable change. The new year is a great time for it, but every year people get all excited, they get motivated, and they fall off. So I'm going to tell you one secret little technique that is going to make all the difference for you. So this is a little friend of mine called dun, 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 habits. It's as easy as that, habits. So think about this. Most people say, okay, it's a new year, I want to get in shape, or I want to make more money, or I want to do this, but they're focused on the outcome. But how do you get to the outcome? By having new actions, by having new routines, or simply by having new habits. So, there's a quote that we are our habits. So what this means is, if you think of someone that's super in shape, what are their habits? Automatically it comes to your head. They're probably working out multiple times a week, they're eating super healthy, and there might be some moderation in there. They're not drinking all the time. It's obvious, right? If you think of a marathon runner, they're running a whole lot. If you think of someone that's a really successful business owner, there's things that come along with that too. If you think of someone that's in a very healthy marriage, they have certain habits that keep their spouse very happy and keep themselves happy. So, with this said, anything you want to do or you want to create, if you just focus instead of at the big overall goal, start small and focus on habits. You focus on what you're doing every day, and that's absolutely going to help you get there. And in the book Atomic Habits, they talk about how it's literally that 1% change, that small change of 1%, when done repeatedly every day, adds up in the end to a very huge thing. So for example, if you're wanting to get in shape, it's that habit, that daily habit of, maybe you start with like, I'm gonna eat a salad every day, right? It's a change. And you do that every day. And then eventually it builds into another habit and you start working out. But it's, a lot of times I feel like people want to just start all at once. Like, okay, like for example, if it's health and fitness, they're like, okay, well I need to work out 6 times a week and do this amount of cardio and be fruit peppering. And it's like, if you haven't been doing any of it, you're setting yourself up for failure in most cases. Or maybe you'll do 90 days, 60 days of a program, and then you hit a burnout. And that's what a lot of people do, is they'll start a month into the new year, they hit a burnout because they're so focused on their overall goal, and you feel so far away. Instead of focusing on the habits, realize you're planting seeds, and if you keep doing these habits over time, you are absolutely guaranteed to see some results. Now, another thing too is, here's an example in my own life of some habits that I've used that have like totally changed the game. Because this is what I'm talking about. It's like when you do new habits, it changes the experience you're having, and it totally changes your life. So some things that I've done is meditation. The last couple of years I've started a really good meditation practice. And again, it started like, you just have to start where you're at. So I started using an app for 5 minutes. It was called like Insight Timer or something. So I started with the app, and then eventually, I'd get to 10 minutes, I'd do 15, but it was all guided. And then I joined this meditation program. It was like a 21-day meditation program. So that was my first time committing to it every single day. And since, I've pretty much meditated every single day, and it's made a huge, huge difference in my life. And then another thing is journaling. Journaling has been very good because it gets everything out of here, because sometimes you can get stressed and frustrated and overwhelmed, and it gets it out of here. But also it's a really good way to like check in with yourself and your intuition and get your thoughts out on paper. So that is very helpful too. And again, that's something that when I started, it was kind of, on and off, but it developed over time, and now I journal pretty much every day, but I have like different journal practices. But again, it's another habit that I've formed. And other habits, like, I've had the habit of being healthy and working out, and sometimes you can expand your habits over time, so you can add new things in. Also, you saw the paper falling. I got some notes, I'm not being perfect, So a new habit that I have for myself is I want to share every day, and I want to start doing a video every day. And so I know that if I just turn on this camera and start talking, eventually this is going to keep developing. But the idea is, even with this, is like you start with where you're at and you do your best and you commit to doing it every single day or however many times a week, but you put in this new habit and eventually it's going to get to where you want to go. And then a little caveat that I want to add on top of this is commitment. So you have your habit, and then if you add commitment to it, you're eventually going to get to where you want to go. And now with commitment, like, commitment does not mean being perfect. Nah. What commitment means is you're committed to getting to where you want to go. And so it might mean you screw up. It might mean you fall down and you got to pick yourself back up. It might mean that, you know, something gets in the way and you don't do something for a month. But as long as you get going again, you're going to get to where you're going. And habits become easier over time too. So you might start off and it might feel like, it might feel really difficult. It might feel really tough. Even, you know, with beginning to make videos, I've been like, it's easy to put things off, but eventually you just have to jump in. And also realize, like, when you're doing something brand new, there is going to be some uncomfortability involved. So you haven't done something before, so it's not just going to feel natural right away. And it's interesting because I feel like with all the spirituality and everything going around right now, I feel like it's very easy for us to just expect to, like, we're always supposed to be in a good place. We shouldn't have any fear because we should just be enlightened beyond all that. But that is baloney. That is not the truth. Oh man, and I've spent a lot of time in my own life, like, waiting to feel perfect or waiting to feel good, but you've heard it before, like, there's no right time other than now, because now is all we have. So if you really want to make a big change this year, I encourage you to think about what habits you want to change. I'd love to hear it. You can write down below in the comments what habits you're wanting to add. And another thing too that's actually really powerful that just came to me was this, and I hate to say this to you, but so positive habits and then also letting go of negative habits. Yeah, so if there's anything that you can think of that isn't really benefiting you, what's crazy is you let something go and it makes room for something else. So there's a lot of habits that can be very destructive. So, you know, obviously working out or journaling or meditating, those are all really good habits. And then there's habits that are destructive, like, you know, watching porn all the time, or playing too many video games, or emotional eating, or just eating junk food all the time. So you can kind of decide, because that's super powerful. If you pick, okay, here's a couple things, and also start where you're at. Again, don't overwhelm yourself. And even if you just start doing new habits for like 5 or 10 minutes, that's enough to get you excited and get you wanting to go forward and get momentum. But again, if you're like a perfectionist, you're like, okay, I have to do this amount of time and do this perfect plan and all that, it's easy to get bogged down. So start where you're at, and then also eliminate some habits. And here's another thing too, is give yourself grace. So when you're wanting to eliminate some habits, say that it's drinking, or it's like say you're gonna quit sugar. So say you're like, okay, for the beginning of the year, I'm gonna go 30 days without sugar, or XYZ, like fill in the blank with whatever it is you wanna do. Say you do 30 days, that's amazing. Say you do 14 days and then you have sugar. Does that mean you are a failure, you're a screw up? Or you committed to getting right back on the horse and continuing? Because that's the thing, if you beat yourself up and you feel bad, it's gonna shoot you right back down, and then you're gonna go on a sugar binge for days. But if you're just like, okay, it's amazing that I've done 14 days, like I missed today, but I can get right back to it. And that, my friends, that is how you create sustainable change. So I hope you learned something from this video. Thank you so much for your time for watching it. I got a lot more coming. Feel free to hit the like button if you want. If not, it's all good. Got love for you. Subscribe if you like, and I'll see you in the next video. and have a very happy 2021. You got this.